So, of course, with the new 2023 NASCAR season quickly approaching, NASCAR just announced a whole bunch of new rules added for the 2023 season. So, I thought right now would be a good time to go through some of the major rule changes and just to get my overall thoughts on it real quick. So, let's go ahead and let's just take a look at the major rule changes for this year and take a look. So, the first one, of course, this is a big one. The stage break cautions are now officially eliminated from road course races and for Cup, except for standalone Xfinity and truck races. So this is a good step on, because honestly, you looked at the stage break cautions on road courses the last couple years. Ever since stage racing was invented, it was just way too goddamn long. It was just way too long, and it just looked like a cheap attempt for Fox and NBC just to air an assload of commercials for 5 to 10 minutes just to fit that fucking TV bill. But yeah, it's still kind of pretty asinine that with how many advancements we had in technology that we have people that still can't keep track of finishing the top 10 results at a certain lab in the race. Especially with what we have for scoring and timing and scoring and all that shit. It's like, that's just something there. But yeah, honestly, I had no problem with the stages, but I fucking hated the stage break cautions. Like, you should not be throwing a yellow on the track unless there is an actual safety hazard on the track. You don't fucking throw a yellow just for entertainment purposes and to put on a fucking good show. That honestly, because when you put yellows on for that kind of shit, that just gives ammo to every single person that thinks NASCAR is rigged and manipulated and scripted and all that shit. But this is a step in the right direction. To be perfectly honest, the stage breaks cautions should not be at any fucking racetrack. They should be eliminated from every track, including the ovals. But getting rid of it for road courses, it's a baby step in the right direction. This is a good call by NASCAR. I do like this call there. So, good job on NASCAR there on that one. Of course, the next big rule change that came out was that a number of short track oval races will have the rain tires in effect for this year. So yeah, here's the list here of all the ovals with that will have the rain tires next year. So there will be racing the rain on ovals, only on damp conditions, so it can't be raining. And it's only damp conditions, because it would speed up the drying process easier, because it's a lot easier to dry the track when you have a bunch of cars on and adding heat to that track. But yeah, that's also a pretty good call here. The only way that was gonna work is only flat short tracks. Like if it's too banked, it's not gonna work. But yeah, this is a good step from NASCAR. Also, because in the event of rain delays and all that shit on certain tracks, it'll help speed up the drying process, so we don't have to postpone races till Monday or some shit. So yeah, that's a good call by NASCAR to do that. Not gonna complain about that. Good step in the right direction. I mean, it's a good call, as long as NASCAR doesn't have another fucking PTSD episode from COTA 2021. Yeah, I think we're fine there. But yeah, that's a good call there. Of course, the next big rule change that came in was the update on the loose wheel policy and the disciplinary action for it. So now, for the loose wheel policy, if the wheel falls off during the middle of a race and brings out a caution, the driver that had the wheel fall off their car, they get an automatic 2-lap penalty where they have to park it for 2 laps. And not only that, the 2 crew members will be suspended 2 races. Most likely the tire changer and the jackman. The crew chief, however, will no longer be suspended for it. So now, the crew chief is no longer getting a 4-week vacation if a wheel falls off. And the crew chief is no longer responsible for pit crew incompetence. Because let's be real, with the loose wheel policy, it wasn't the car or the tire that was the problem. Simply put, it was the pit crews that simply fucking suck putting one nut on. Honestly, you think pit crews would have been better putting on 1 lug nut versus 5 lug nuts, but you'd be gravely mistaken. And also updates for if it falls off on pit road. Like if it falls off on pit road under caution, then it's like a tail end to the longest line penalty where you go to the rear. If it falls off under green, it's a pass-through penalty where you have to come down pit lane speed under green flag conditions. But yeah, the green now that's a good call there. Except the caution one. The caution one, I feel like having them send them to the rear of the field under if it falls off under caution. I feel like that one's kind of unnecessary because if the tire is falling off under caution on pit road, you're going to the back of the field anyway because of how much time you have to take to back up back into your stall again and have the tire changer fix up his incompetent fuck up and then come back out. Like, with how much time it's going to take there, you're already going to be going to the rear of the field anyway. So I feel like that one's kind of pointless, but everything else about it, it's good. Honestly, it's a hell of a it's a lot better improvement than what the fuck we had last year. So yeah, I can deal with that, and I still feel like we're gonna have a lot of loose wheels, and we're gonna see a lot of suspension. So I think pit crew and team depth is gonna play another crucial role in 2023 this season. But yeah, still very good step in the right direction. But yeah, I like that call. Good call there. Also in 2023, NASCAR will have some kind of orange box in between each pit stall. And if a driver comes in that box style and interferes with another driver's pit stop, there could potentially be a penalty. They're saying it's a judgment call. That is an interesting rule. I'm not going to lie. That's kind of interesting. But some tells me NASCAR is going to be inconsistent with this one. Just like almost every other thing they're inconsistent with. It's an interesting rule. Okay, I guess. I guess we'll cross the bridge if it's a good rule or not when NASCAR does something stupid, I guess. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But interesting rule. Interesting to see how NASCAR will call this one. If they're going to call it fair or be inconsistent with it. Interesting though for sure, nonetheless. Not going to lie. Also, another big one, NASCAR also updated the damaged vehicle policy, aka the crash clock shit. So for the regular season, it's now a 7-minute crash clock. Of course, last year it was 6 minutes. Everyone fucking hated it. Thought it was stupid. And then in the chase last year, they extended to 10 minutes, which I felt like 10 minutes was the right call. And I think a lot of people liked it better when it was 10 minutes. But yeah, 7 minutes still. The main reason though that NASCAR has that 7 minutes is because a lot of pit crews and teams say that it takes like 6.5 minutes to repair a toe link. To be perfectly honest here, I feel like it should have stayed at 10 minutes. I feel like we got it right in the chase having it at 10 minutes. Because if you can't fix your car in 10 minutes, then you shouldn't be fucking out there to begin with. Like, because if you can't repair a car in 10 minutes, then it wasn't a safe car to begin with. But yeah, but 7 minutes, I guess it's an improvement over what we had last year, but somehow I feel like it's going to become a problem, and I feel like it should have stayed 10 minutes. Like, I think it either should be 10 minutes or we don't have it, period. Like, I feel like 10 minutes was the right situation for it. So, kind of disappointing, but I can live with 7 minutes for now until it becomes a problem. Like, once it becomes a problem, I'm just going to ask for NASCAR and demand them to put it back to 10 minutes. Because I feel like having it 10 minutes was the right call. Because you can work, because the window to work miracles with 6 to 7 minutes is very slim. But at 10 minutes, you can work fucking miracles fixing a car within 10 minutes. But still, it's an improvement over what we had last year. Also, another big rule change here. The last of the good rule changes is the choose cone rule is now in effect for all super speedway and the Bristol dirt races. So yeah, now the choose cone rule is now fully in effect at all racetracks, which that's a good choice. I really like the choose cone rule. I thought it was a really good idea. Let the drivers decide their lanes for the restart, the one thing I think for the dirt race is you're probably going to see a lot of drivers just choose the outside line. Because we all know how much the outside line is king on dirt tracks. But I mean, the super speedway races, that choose cone rule, it could potentially open the door to any team manipulations, especially if you have a situation like all 4 HMS cars running 1, 2, 3, 4, like fucking Talladega or some shit, and then all 4 of them choose to line up on the inside for the restart, and all 4 can link right off the bat and pull away from the field. Like it could, there is some potential for it to be a problem, but NASCAR's already said before that manipulating races is A-okay. As long as you don't make it sound too obvious on the radio, it's okay. Or as long as NASCAR fucking likes it and it fits their narrative or some bullshit like that. But yeah, honestly, I'm wondering how they're gonna do the fucking choose cone painting for the dirt race. Because they can't really paint it in the fucking dirt. Because they paint it in the dirt, it's just gonna get torn up by the field driving right by. So I'm wondering if they're gonna actually try to paint it in the dirt for Bristol, or if they're just gonna put a fucking cone in right at that time. And then once the field goes by, they have someone quickly run out and take the cone away. Or just have the cone on like a fucking string or some shit. But yeah, that's a good call to have it be in effect for all tracks. But I'm interested to see how they're going to pull the choose cone off for fucking Bristol Dirt, though. Alright, now to the most controversial rule change. We all know about the Hail Melon, Ross Chastain's wall ride at Martinsville, all that stuff. Well, NASCAR has officially said it's now an illegal move. It is now banned. And if anyone ever tries it again, it will result in a time penalty. One, why is it a time penalty? Just send them to the fucking tail end of the field. Just score them as the last car in the lead lap and be done with it. Either that or just disqualify them. Just say it's like a fucking, either you go to the last car in the lead lap, or you're disqualified. One of those two. Like, honestly, the only time penalties should be in effect is, like, if it's a fucking road course race. But, yeah, like, this is definitely a controversial move, especially with how great it was for Chastain, Especially since Chastain did everything he needed to make the Final Four with that move. But, like, it's very controversial. Like my heart says it should be legal. And that drivers should do whatever it takes to get the job done. But I could understand from a safety perspective why it should be illegal, because there are a lot of things that could go wrong, especially since in an interview Chastain did mention that he almost went blind performing the wall ride at Martinsville. Like the only reason it went as well as it did is because Chastain hit that wall at the perfect fucking angle. Like, that takes skill to pull that move off. Like, plus there was the potential that maybe other drivers would have attempted in the future, especially at a track like Martinsville, because Chastain proved that it is possible to pull it off if done correctly. But yeah, as controversial as it is kind of the right call, but it is kind of bullshit that NASCAR fucking punished the drivers for doing it. When literally the chase fucking manufactures this type of shit, the whole, winning you're in, winning you automatically advance to the next round. Do whatever you gotta do to get there. Don't be satisfied by finishing this position or that position. Do everything you can. And when a driver fucking does that, you then all of a sudden take it away? It's like, that's just vintage NASCAR inconsistency. And the worst part about this is NASCAR's going to be fucking so hypocritical about this because even though they made this move illegal, they're going to have the Chastain Hail Melon in fucking commercials and TV promos and promote the shit out of it. So this is just going to be, I don't know, it's like NASCAR was damned if they let the move stay legal because a lot could have gone wrong. Like, it was really damned if they made it legal, damned if they made it illegal. Like, I think it was a lose-lose for NASCAR. I don't think there was really a way to make everybody happy to keep it with either or. Like, if you had it be legal, people were going to complain about safety. You had it be illegal, people were going to complain about NASCAR punishing the drivers for doing exactly what the gimmick chase was designed to do. Because everyone asked the questions, would Chastain have done the Hail Melon under a season-long points format like the old Winston format? And the answer to that question is yes. Chastain still probably would have done it under the right circumstances. Like Chastain would have done it under the right circumstances if it was a close championship battle, or if Chastain needed at least a few positions just to have a shot at the championship entering the finale, even if it's like a 1,000,000-to-1 shot. You know, still, a chance is a chance. But yeah, I honestly would have been alright with this rule if it wasn't for what Jeff Gluck said. Oh boy. So according to Jeff Gluck, the Hail Melon ban was already in effect before the Martinsville race last year. It just NASCAR didn't enforce it and they had it as a judgment call. So this rule on technicality was in the book. So by this rule in the book, and I'll even show it on the screen here, what section it is. So by this rule in the book, it means that what Chastain did at Martinsville was indeed illegal before it was made official. So effectively, Chastain kind of cheated. He kind of cheated, which that raises honestly more questions than it makes me question the leadership. Like if this move was already illegal before what happened at Martinsville last year, then why the hell was Chastain not disqualified then? Like, seriously, if it's in the fucking book, then penalize him. Then penalize his ass. Like, if it's illegal, enforce the rule book and be fucking consistent for fucking once in your goddamn lives. But NASCAR decided just to throw that last page out and ignore it. Because Chastain doing the Hail Melon to making the Final Four, NASCAR decided, fuck it, Chastain making the Final Four with the Hail Melon, and makes for a good storyline heading into the season finale at Phoenix. So literally from Martinsville, NASCAR ignored a page of their rule book just to go clout chase it on the fucking internet. And then punish drivers for it after they got their fucking 15 seconds of fame. Like, that just honestly shows more NASCAR inconsistency and BS. And honestly, with Gluck revealing this information, everybody, you know what this also does? This right here, it gives ammo to every single motherfucker in this fan base that thinks NASCAR is rigged, manipulated, scripted, whatever terminology you want to use for it. You know, whatever terminology floats your boat, you go with it. Like, effectively, because all three effectively mean the same damn thing. Just a few minor differences between all three. But yeah, bottom line, this gives ammo to every single person in this fan base that thinks NASCAR is rigged, manipulated, and scripted. And especially since we're coming off what happened within the AFC Championship game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals, when the Bengals got absolutely fucked over. But, like, yeah, this just raises more questions, and I have more questions for the leadership. Not just NASCAR, but also Fox and NBC, since NBC is really taking a hands-on approach with NASCAR now, since they're more so dictating what Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell do, not them. And so, yeah, it's because it's really hard for me to judge Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell in this situation, because I have no fucking clue where they start and where NBC backs the fuck off. But yeah, that's just fucking inconsistency right there. The fact that this rule was already in the book and NASCAR chose to do nothing about it just to chase some clicks on the fucking internet. And you wonder why people stop watching this shit. Because I'll tell you right now, you want to know what a real motorsport would have done in this situation? If they had this rule already in the book for what Chastain did, a real motorsport would have fucking penalized Chastain for that move. Because by the rule in the book, Chastain should have been penalized. By the rule. By rule, Chastain should have been penalized. Because a real motorsport would have penalized Chastain for that move. But we all know, NASCAR's not a real motorsport. They're a fucking gong show pretending to be something that they're not. Oh yeah, and also I should mention one more thing here that also gives infinite ammo to every single person that thinks NASCAR is rigged, manipulated, and scripted. The fact that on the last page of the NASCAR rulebook, it says on the final page, all of these rules are to our discretion. Which effectively means in simpler terms, that none of the rules we make in this book mean anything or matter. And that we'll just make up new ones on the fly as we go along. So in other words, NASCAR will just rig, manipulate, and rig and manipulate the outcome of the race just to get the outcome they want for TV ratings and headlines and clout and all that bullshit. Sometimes I even question why I bother watching Cup Xfinity and trucks when I could just watch ARCA and Penny Series and Modifieds and the Euro Series and Mexico Series full time. Pretty much on the NASCAR Root Series, because the NASCAR Root Series honestly have a lot more meaning or a lot more better than this bullshit, honestly. Oh, well, still, other than the Hail Melon being a bit controversial and it just showing more NASCAR inconsistencies, in which I feel like it's just going to lead to more problems and NASCAR is going to still be more inconsistent. We're going to have the fan base even more divided than it already is. There were still some pretty good rule changes nonetheless. I'm not going to lie there. There were some pretty good rule changes I can get behind there for sure. The Hail Melon, though, banning it is the right call because it just would have led to more problems and potentially more safety issues. Plus, everyone would have fucking started doing it a lot and it just would have been more boring, to be perfectly honest. And it just would have lost its value and shock over time. Because when Chastain did it, it was very special. But when it keeps getting done repeatedly, then it always starts to become a problem. But hey, there's no rule change NASCAR's going to have that's going to make me really question their leadership and question why I still watch the Cup Series, right?
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
What the fuck? What the actual fuck? What the fuck? You got rid of the top 30 rule for the Cup Series? And you got rid of the top 20 rule for the Trucks and Xfinity Series? So now effectively, a win effectively locks you in the chase now no matter what in all three series if you're running full time? Are you actually fucking kidding me, NASCAR? What the actual fuck are you doing? Really? Really? Going all in with the winning your in shtick? So early. What was the lesson we learned from Martin Truex getting fucked out of the chase last year when he was top 5 in points all year? What was the fucking lesson here? Just have the same thing play out again? Like, for fuck's sakes. You know what an easier solution would have been to this problem? It's simple. Get rid of the fucking chase and go back to a season-long points format. For fuck's sakes. Now NASCAR just made the chase about as easy as humanly possible to make the chase. Because at least with the top 30 rule, you at least have to stay above 30th to at least make the chase. But now, you no longer even have to be good to make the chase. Because you could be fucking Cody Ware all fucking year with this Rick Ware shitbox, be around 30th to 35th all year, but if you can get lucky and back into a fucking win at the right time, you get to compete for a fucking championship. That is so fucking stupid. So fucking stupid. Like, if you're gonna have a fucking postseason, at least make it as humanly hard as possible to make it in. Like, with this, you just made it effectively as easy as possible. Because let's say, like, someone like Chase Elliott or Kyle Larson wins, like, 2 of the first 3 races of the season. Like, they win, like, fucking Auto Club or Las Vegas to open the year. And because effectively, 2 wins all but guarantees you a spot. So, if a driver wins, like, fucking 2 races right off the bat in March, they're effectively locked in 6 months to go in the regular season. Like if a Larson or an Elliott locked themselves in fucking March, then why the fuck should I watch the rest of the Cup Series for the next 6 months if it doesn't fucking matter? Because effectively, if Elliott or Larson win like 2 of the first 3 races and lock themselves in 6 months early, then the rest of the regular season for them doesn't matter, and they can treat the remaining races like a test and tune-up session for the chase and just sandbag. Like, this is just so fucking idiotic from NASCAR to do this. Like, I'm losing literal fucking brain cells just comprehending NASCAR's logic in this. It's like, literally, did we literally not learn anything from Truex getting fucked over last year from this format? And for anyone that wants to defend it, let me ask you this. For anyone that wants to defend it, saying, oh, Truex was deserving to not make the chase because he didn't win a race. So let me ask this question. So you're going to tell me that Martin Truex Jr., who was top 5 in points all last season, didn't deserve to make the chase because he didn't back his way into a win? But somebody like an Austin Dillon or a Chase Briscoe, who are around 19th, 20th in points all year, one or both of those two are good enough to make the chase because they happen to back their way into a win at the right fucking time? How is that a fair format? How is that fucking fair? Like, that's kind of fucking bullshit. Like, this is fucking stupid. Like, NASCAR's just killing whatever fucking legitimacy this sport fucking has left. Like, they're just taking out whatever legitimacy they have left to just be entertainment and just be the absolute fucking laughingstock in motorsports. Like, you wonder why people think IndyCar championships mean more or F1 championships mean more than fucking the Cup title. Because they literally do, and they have not many gimmicks in NASCAR. NASCAR's just becoming the equivalent of WWE on fucking wheels. Just so fucking stupid. Like, this format has been a fucking joke since it was incepted. Like at least the chase format from 2004 to 2013, I could at least tolerate it. Even though that format had its fair share of flaws, especially 2011 with Tony Stewart, when Tony Stewart proved how much of a crapshoot it was. And then, like, NASCAR didn't fucking fix a problem with this chase grid, with this rule. They just effectively made it worse than it already was. Like, just when you think NASCAR can't lower the bar any lower, they find a fucking way to lower it. Can't even say I'm surprised. Because I have no expectations for NASCAR's leadership, and even then, with no expectations, they still find a way to disappoint me. But yeah, it's also kind of fucking sad when a fucking ARCA championship has more fucking meaning than the Bill France Cup. And let me just say this, the Bill France, and that shouldn't be the case, because the Bill France Cup, this cup is hyped up to be the most prestigious trophy in all of North American stock car racing. But when a fucking ARCA championship has more fucking meaning than that shit, that's a problem. That is a major fucking problem. Tell you right now, the only solution to this problem is get rid of the fucking chase and go back to a season-long points format. Or at least go back to the 2004 chase format. Have it be only 10 drivers in the chase. Have points mean everything. And get rid of winning your stipulation. Like, the championship should not come down to one fucking race. Like, your season should not be dictated about what you do in one race. It should be dictated by what you do throughout the course of an entire season. Like, the only time it should come down to one race is if 2 or 3 drivers are so evenly matched throughout the year to where it has to be that situation, you know? Like Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen in 2021 last year, when both of them entered entered Abu Dhabi tied for the championship. You know, honestly, you want some advice for here if you're frustrated with the Cup Series and NASCAR right now? Don't stop watching NASCAR. Just don't focus on Cup, Xfinity, and trucks. Like, honestly, focus more on ARCA, the Penny Series, the Modifieds, the Mexico Series, Euro Series, that new Brazil Series, and that new Ute Series coming out. Focus on those 7, 8, 9 series, especially ARCA East and ARCA West. You know, series that actually have legitimate championship points formats. You know, especially a few of those series are extremely underrated. You know, pretty much anything in the NASCAR roots area. Focus on that shit, because those series actually are fucking good, and those championships at least mean more than this predictable bullshit. Just, yeah, honestly, I want to be positive about this sport, but I just have no confidence in the leadership. And let me just be real, if I'm not being negative just to be an asshole, I'm being negative about it just because I want the fucking sport to succeed. And they keep doing the stupidest fucking shit. that just digs them further down the hole with their incompetence. Like, I want to have confidence in the leadership right now, but the fact that they're going all in with this stupid fucking win in your ring gimmick, because points really fucking mean nothing now at this point. Like, this effectively kills any meaning with points racing. Like, this just kills it. But yeah, I want to have confidence in NASCAR, but I just can't with how many times they take one step forward and then they take 2 or 20 steps back. Like, sorry, folks. I just have no confidence in the leadership, and I don't have any faith in them turning this sport around. Sorry. But yeah, 2023 is going to be a bit of a rough ride. At least, thank God for the NASCAR Root Series like ARCA, Pennies, Modifieds, Mexico, Euro, the Brazil Series, and the Ute Series. Thank God I have those series that are way better for my mental health over Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks. Thank God for that.